Genesis shit.
You know what? I might be lying. That Nintendo 64 controller in hindsight's pretty bad.
That shit was for
C up,
children.
C down, C left, C right, A, B, and a Z button.
Why would?
How did you get that mapped out, bro?
Right.
How did you map that?
But what I don't understand is why they put 2 letters in 1 button. Didn't they do that? Hey, corner left. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but and then on top of that, you held that shit from the middle for most games.
Yo, Chase, you heard what I said?
About what?
I said, how did you map that for No Mercy?
Okay, that's a good question. So what I'll do is I'll use the right analog for the C buttons.
Okay.
So C up, C down, C left, C right. Because the 64 only had 1 analog and 1 D-pad.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll use A and B like it normally is, and then I'll use the triggers for the triggers.
Right.
And then the Z button, I'll just make R or B because you don't really use that much.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll switch it.
Smart. That was smart.
That's just still confusing me right now.
No, I
see
what he's saying.
All right, I think it's about that time to start the podcast. It's 7:31. Shout out to everybody in here. Remember, the podcast is available for full download on SoundCloud.com. So if you missed the pre and post show, it is available on SoundCloud. Shout out to everybody in here.
For $29.99.
If you want to tweet out the stream, that would be great. And we have a full squad starting 5 in here today. Starting up first, we got the big homie Silver Joysticks back in here. Say what's up.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Thank you for giving me an opportunity to come back through and participate in the podcast. I'm definitely honored as usual. I will apologize for my microphone quality. Someone stole my good mic, so I'm going to try to work with this Razer tonight. So if there's any lapses in quality, I do apologize in advance. And I also want to thank
You're amazing.
I want to thank everybody who came out and showed me some positive support after my initial podcast appearance, especially everyone who followed me on Twitter. It's nice to actually have actual people follow me on Twitter instead of webcam models. Because I'm a pretty attractive guy, so the idea of women in bikinis following me is not that unrealistic. But after the 19th day, I figured something was going wrong. So shout out to everyone.
That was amazing. You're gonna close up. You're gonna close up the podcast.
I'm about to check his followers. I'm about to just start following us. Next up, we got the homie Abel in here. Is that you got your new Astros? They working.
Yeah, oh well? Yeah. I'll be putting
out the Astros.
Yeah.
Did you just have Tritons?
No.
Oh no, let me see them shits is clean.
He had those for a couple weeks. He ran into some problems.
I gotta throw my shits out. That's it.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in here. Thank you guys for coming through. Definitely will be reviewing the Astros actually this week. I'll probably have the review up I think this Saturday. So look out for it. And also, Chase, you linked the petition?
Yes. Go ahead and you talk about that.
Yeah, guys. So we're trying to get Socom remastered made. VG, Fry. A whole bunch of community members just came together, and the SOCOM community as a whole has come together and let the Sony execs know we want SOCOM remastered, preferably SOCOM 2. So we let them know. Sony actually gave us a response and actually said we're on the building list, so we could get a remastered in the fashion that Shenmue 3 did. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing at this point, but Sony has acknowledged us, and they said we're working on it. So, guys, if you want to sign the petition and support even further and continue the support, please, the links are down in the description below, and just support. And that's it. Thank you, Chase. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, yeah. All the links is in the description at all times. I actually got to get Joystick's Twitter back in there. But we got Prophecy coming through this week.
Hey, let's go.
You there? You there or no? Is you there?
Say no. Just let the picture ride out. He's here.
I hope he'll be back. But Ricky is obviously back. Everybody congratulate Ricky. He got a promotion at work. New job, better pay, better hours, more time off, man.
Very good.
Clap for you.
That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
That's what it's about. Not all that other bullshit people be celebrating.
More
people's failures.
People celebrating they graduated high school after 5 years. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
All right, Prop, see you back in here. Say what's up, Prop.
Realest nigga on earth. Y'all already know. We gotta explain nothing else.
All right,
but this draft though.
What's going on with the draft? What's going on with it?
I'm watching the draft right now.
Okay, So, this is episode. What episode is this here?
Yo, I'm sorry, yo, but Phenomenal said Ricky's gonna sign the petition, then pirate the game.
well, that's a good one. You know, I'll be honest. With some of the conditions that the games are coming out in, I'm not for necessarily piracy, but like sometimes I just feel like, yo, fuck some of these companies, yo, because you putting out some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? People might as well pirate it, see how they like it, and then buy the game.
You hear it here first.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's how sometimes I'm not saying that I go out and do that. I'm just saying, if they can put out broke shit, then people can pirate. If you were in another country, they wouldn't call it piracy. They would call it file sharing. But that's a separate issue because until 2003, we were able to share software online until 2003. So it's not that long ago where we were able to actually share software, music, video, but they decided that that was killing the industry. So what could be killing the industry more than putting out broken products? But anyway, I digress. Excuse me. Sorry for my little mini rant. Well, fuck all that. Let's hop right into the Batman. Everybody can talk about either their experiences playing it and or
no spoilers, right?
Watching it. No spoilers. That's very, very important. So I'm going to start off. I usually don't start off by saying the gameplay is fantastic. The story. I just got to a part in the story where I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to say what it is because I wasn't expecting this. All I can tell you is that when you get to the Ace Chemical place to get the Scarecrow, it goes down. And for PS4 and Xbox One players, it's the same thing. So those versions, fantastic. Okay, now the PC version is fucked. Terrible, disrespectful. There is no excuse in the world for you to delay a game for 8 months. We forgot that. This game has been delayed for 8 months. It was supposed to come out last year?
Yep.
Last year?
Yeah.
Last year. You pushed the game back 8 months. And then one of the platforms is still messed up. It doesn't matter how good your PC is. I see people coming out and saying, oh, you know, get a better PC. That's bullshit. If you look at the requirements to run the game, we all surpass those requirements. So for me to get 10 frames a second, for me to every time I glide or get in a Batmobile, the game lags and it's like hard to watch is a joke. Sometimes it'll completely freeze, and this is the first time I've seen a game on PC run at 30 and on console run at 60. Just saying. So they have purposely locked it.
It's 60 on consoles?
Yes, it is 60 on console.
No,
so
it's not. Whoa.
It is so. It is so. They locked it. Go look at people's PS4 gameplay. They locked it so that we can't go in and change our frame rate like we can on other games. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with that if it was like that for everybody, but the PC usually does not have those type of restrictions. So all in all, I don't care if I paid $23 for the goddamn game. That's no excuse. If you sell somebody something, it should come out right. So y'all say that shit, but if you go to McDonald's and get a $1 double cheeseburger and this shit is smashed up, you will complain. But it was only $1. If they said, well, you only paid $1, you'd be like, where's your manager? It's the same goddamn concept. The PC version is fucked. The game is fantastic, but they need to fix it. And the last thing I'm going to say is the game is in such a terrible state that they have pulled the game from Steam and other platforms until it is fixed. So you will not even be able to purchase Batman on PC on most platforms right now. But anyway, I am done rambling for the moment. Who want to take that next?
I just want to say, Council Master Race, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. We can get into the PC Master Race stuff in a second because we've been saying that shit. Go ahead.
We ain't here. I'm not gonna lie. It's funny to me because I be watching. My timeline is filled with everybody, fam. You know, we all gamers.
Yeah.
And my whole timeline was flooded with niggas complaining about Batman not working on PC. And I'm not gonna lie, I was smiling my ass off every minute of it, to be honest with you. Like, I have a PC, but y'all know mine ain't really equivalent enough to. Well, mine probably can run Batman now with all the problems that I'm hearing right now, so I could probably run that with no problem. But the fact of the matter is, I was smiling a little bit because now I seen people that mainly play only PC are going out there and getting Batman on consoles, and so I find it funny. The game that I've been playing, which I only played like 25 minutes of it maybe, because I've been on it. And the combat system is really nice. It seems really smooth. It was already good in the beginning, but it just seems like it's way more intense now. Like, it just feels so much smoother. Obviously, graphically, it looks like a nice game, and the story seems like it actually has me hooked a little bit. Like, the other stories were good, and I just played them because y'all know Batman is my favorite non-superhero. But this one, like, from the first little jaunt where you had to go from the very beginning when you were the police officer and you went up, bro, that shit scared the hell out of me, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was playing in the middle of the night and I was playing this shit. That shit scared the hell out of me. Like, I jumped back and hit my wife's leg. That shit is crazy. Like, the game is really nice.
Okay. All right,
on consoles. My bad. On consoles.
Joystick, we gonna let you go. We gonna let you go last because Joystick he gonna drive it home and clean it all up.
He has to be the finisher. He has to be the pitcher.
You get the last verse, man. You Eminem, or you know,
you played it.
We're gonna let you go first, man, because then nobody want to hear nobody else. Somebody else go ahead and jump in there.
Well, I played it yesterday. Shout out to my boy Joysticks. Thank you, Joy. But I played it yesterday, and to be honest with you, I was pretty tight because I got almost like a $2,000 computer, and I'm sitting there, and I'm trying, like, there's some parts in the game where the frame rate fluctuates so hard. It was just unplayable, and the thing is, I'm not trying to bash or anything, but when shit like that happens, like I just sit there and I'm shake my head. I'm like, why? Like, why is this happening? It doesn't make sense. But I will say this: the game overall, without the flaws, if I see minus the little flaws that I see, not little flaws, minus the huge flaws that I see in the PC version, this would be a righteous title, like through and through. Like it really is that damn good. But I pray to God that they get the PC. I might seriously, the way this shit went off on here, I might have to pick this up on console again, just to be fair, because I wasn't interested in playing Batman, but I was playing it and I was getting into it, bruh. So I was like, damn, I might have to pick this up on console. So really cool to say. But PC version, fuck. Just like Chase said, fuck. It's
don't get it. Don't get that
don't
shit.
Don't do it.
You can't get it anyway. They took it off the store.
You can get it on Kingwin.
Hey, Ricky, hold up, though.
No, listen, I know, man. I know. Look, let me just say it. I'm not going to spoil it. What happened?
No, I'm
sorry.
You look like you about to do something out of the cipher, yo. Did you?
My bad, my bad. Oh, I look like that kid that made that video. Remember?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were saying something else. Nah, I put the cam by accident. Nah, he said something out the cipher. Now listen, I beat the game last night. There's 2 endings, and honestly, the official ending is a bitch to get to because you need to do all the side missions. You need to do everything in order for it to be complete. I think the story was good. I'm gonna just say they shouldn't have put the title Arkham Knight. That's all I'm gonna say. It doesn't make sense to me anymore. Now that I beat the game. But also, the game, the optimization at first, when I was on the Batmobile and I glided and jumped in, my dude froze, and I thought it was just a gangster way of it being, like, positioned. And I realized, like, nah, that, like, the game is frozen. I'm like, oh, shit. And I kept failing certain missions because of the lag. And towards the ending of the game, even as just walking, you're going to experience such frame drops. And the crazy shit is the PC version is only, like, 30 gigs. And the PS4 version is 50 gigs, so we're missing like at least 15, 20 gigs of the game, meaning like textures. The game looks like crap now compared to the PS4 version, but I mean overall, I think the story is good. I can't say much, man, because I beat it. It's just you're gonna be like, I can't say much. I mean, when you guys get further into the game, you're gonna be like, damn, why didn't the story was great, but they should have just went all in with certain things. I mean, I love the combat and the dual combat. I don't know if you guys played it yet with the dual combat with like Nightwing or Robin. That shit is hand in hand is like smooth as hell. But I can't speak much. I'm done.
Wait, Robin, you can use them finally?
Yeah, but like the thing is no, and it's part of the story. You dual combat with him and then with Nightwing. So when you're switching off to battle, it's so smooth. It looks like a movie. Like you're going back and forth, fucking these dudes up.
I didn't even know.
Dude, they show gameplay of that.
I told you I don't watch a lot of when I'm excited about a game. I try not to watch a whole lot of stuff because people just negative. Y'all saying GameSpot gave the game a 7 A 7? What platform they playing on?
Oh my god, man! They probably rating that based on PC performance. Like that's bullshit.
They didn't say nothing about PC performance on the
No. Matter of fact, okay. See, that's the thing. I can see why they may have put it as a 7, which I can't really get into because no, you haven't beat the game.
All right, okay.
You got to see what happens in the game, and you're just like, what the fuck? It's more like it gets repetitive. And in the sense of certain things that keep happening, and it just pisses you off. Like, yo, why aren't you just letting this happen? You should be going all in. Like, why are you blocking this thing from happening when this is your last Batman game? You should be going all in. But I will say though, with Robin, playing as Catwoman, playing as all these characters in the story, and changing within the fighting scene, that shit is just sweet, yo. That shit is marvelous. All the tag team knockouts that you can do in the game, beast mode, yo. But aside from that, the game is great. It's worth the purchase on consoles. Just wait off on the PC version or pirate it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep, pirate that shit.
It's probably better on the pirate version.
Pirate it and pay for it later when they decide to fix it.
I'm gonna ask y'all one more thing, and I said this to Abel before. Why is the driving mechanics better in Batman than it is in Watch Dogs? Like, I don't understand.
Yo, it's really smooth too.
Well, Arkham Knight feels like it was developed by Ubisoft with its performance on PC, but that's matter of fact, UTX. Good thing that you mentioned that. I feel like they put so much time into the Batmobile. It was like what Chase also mentioned earlier. It wasn't just something brought into the game that for just a quick usage. Like, yo, that Batmobile is so raw.
Realize that crazy.
Yo, definitely. And I'm just mad that
when I first started playing the game, I immediately thought when we all seen the previews for Batman and we seen the Batmobile, I honestly thought we weren't gonna get it to like halfway in the game. That motherfucker's like the first 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Like, they put you in there immediately. I have fun just driving around and pressing left bumper, jumping the fuck out of it, and then jumping back in.
Yeah,
UTX just said that. I'm sorry I couldn't have that same experience. Every time I jumped out and jumped in, my dog froze in the air, son.
It might turn off on you.
My dude froze.
It's a joke, man. And you can't, not know that it's like that when you put it out on the store, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. That's not an accident. But let joysticks come through. What do you think about Batman? What platform you plan on? Tell the people what you think, man.
Well, right now I have Batman on PC. That's the only platform that I play on right now. And this entire situation this week, I think, is a complete fiasco, and it's really indicative of, I think, what may be a more serious problem, within the industry, and that's really developers and publishers not taking our dollars as consumers seriously. And I think to anyone who's on a console right now, this is definitely not a shot at console players. I was a console player for the longest, but if you spend the money on a PC, you're doing so because you expect a certain level of quality from your product. In no other industry is it acceptable to accept broken products when they're sold to consumers. Damn. If you go into a car dealership and you buy a car, you expect that car to work. The dealership does not come in and tell you that they're going to patch in the brakes 2 weeks later after you buy the car.
I'm sorry, dog.
And so I just want to make sure. I know there's people out there who might be under the impression that day one patches and day one purchases, that having problems upon release is acceptable, and it is absolutely not acceptable. And one thing I definitely want to point out is, for anyone who's playing on PC and you're experiencing issues with the game, if you've purchased the game through Steam, this is the reason why they've implemented a refund system. If you're unhappy with the service that you have received, the only way to rectify that is to speak with your wallets. And now we have been given a tool that will allow us to do exactly that. Because people need to understand that until we actually make a concerted effort as a consumer base to say that certain products are not going to be acceptable, we're not going to experience any level of change with what we are receiving. And so this message itself is directed specifically at my PC consumers who buy games legitimately through Steam. And I think Green Man Gaming, I think they're actually offering discounts as well.
Yep.
This is an opportunity for you to make your voices heard. Now, myself, I received the game. I actually upgraded my video card specifically in anticipation of Arkham Knight. And as a result, I received 2 free copies of the game. one of which I was actually able to lend out a code for. And I'm actually sad now because I feel like I didn't give a gift. I actually relayed a problem. And that's something that I personally am not proud of. And one thing I will say that with my computer performance, the one thing I have been able to do is, with the game file right now, it is locked at 30 frames per second. I have been able to play the game at 30 frames a second, but it's not a stable 30 frames. And the thing that we need to understand is that Total Biscuit made an excellent video about this. He put it up on YouTube earlier. Under no circumstances is 30 frames per second acceptable for PC. That's not why we buy PCs. We should not be standing for this type of treatment. And so I've actually gotten to the Ace Chemicals plant. I'm still working through that process. The game is somewhat playable, but by no means is it what I expect. So, I'm just going to end by saying there's plenty of discussions about all the technical issues with this game. Everyone has released a video talking about it. I'm a disappointed consumer, and I want people to start banding together and recognizing the sphere of influence that they have.
Yeah. All right, and Ricky, you gotta chill.
Yo, this dude shit is
no, Ricky, you gotta chill. Yo, you just like he's like
he all types of vocabulary. I got.
You're ad-libbing every 8 bars going in your ad-lib.
Nah, yo, I'm so.
I don't know if they heard you in the chat, but every 8 bars, he like, damn. He like, ooh, like, yeah, he can't do that.
My bad, son. Yo,
you know what kills me? Like, yeah. And everybody knows I'm a fucking hater when it comes down to it, especially when it's towards PC. So I find it, like I said, it's funny to me. I'd rather hear everybody complain about the game not working than to be bragging about how beautiful it runs, like they usually do 24/7 about every single game, nonstop anyway. So complaining about one game out of the many games that comes out and everybody brags about it doesn't really seem like a loss. The only other game I heard people complaining about was Mortal Kombat X when it wasn't working.
That was for about a day. But you're right, though.
How many years, or, I don't play it like that, but there's not really too many games for you to complain about. Whereas when we complain about the games on the console, what do people say? They don't talk about give the money back or band together. They say, why don't you just get a PC and play it on PC?
Yeah.
So it's like an unbiased kind of thing when it comes from straight PC people to finally realize what happens on consoles all the fucking time, and it only happens like once in a blue moon for you guys.
Actually, no, man. I think what Prophecy is saying, my bad, Chase. Yeah. Go first.
Well, I was going to say, but you're looking at it and you're actually being logical. So, like, while you're saying that doesn't happen that often, it does happen. I'll tell you, it's happened to me. This is the 3rd time. Mortal Kombat was very, very short, and it was fixed for the most part after that. But like, what I'm seeing in my comment section is, this is what happens when you game on PC. This is what happens when you game on PC. I don't know why you bought this for PC. I don't know this. And they're making it like that's the experience that we have every time we play on PC, which is not the case. It's just that when it happens on PC, you will hear it until it stops. Because like PC people, and I'm not saying me, I'm saying generally like the community as a whole, they get together and try to make sure that stuff is fixed. Yeah, I'm
obviously not talking about us specifically.
Right. So, no, I mean it happened with Assassin's Creed Unity, Mortal Kombat, and then this. Now I've had
Assassin's Creed Unity was ass on everything.
Yeah, right.
That shit was ass on everything.
That was across the board, but and then the other, just before I let Ricky go ahead and go, the other thing is dudes are saying like, well, you only paid $20 for the game. It doesn't matter how much we paid because the platform used to play the game was several $100s. So that's really no excuse. That the purpose of buying a PC is so that you save money on the back end.
Right.
So we might spend $700, $800, $900, $1,000, $1,500, up to $2,000 for the PC. But then you turn around and you save money on the games. So either way, there's no excuse for the game, no matter how cheap it is, to come out like that. But Ricky was trying to say something.
No, I mean, coming from what UTX was saying too. First off, this whole chat, this whole group right here, we don't gloat about being any fucking part of any race. Like, we don't do that. We don't be like, oh, Sony race or Xbox One race or PC race. Like, we give them all the treatment when time is due. Like, if something's wrong with PS4. Or something which is all the time with their servers and their connection and their server maintenance, we give them that. Xbox One, we was giving it for a long time. I mean, they've been good so far. No real issues been going on. But as far as game development goes, it's all about time and it's all about effort. They don't have large crews. Like if Rocksteady was that big of a company, they would have been able to do the PC port themselves. But no, they had another company to do the port for them. And I mean, this goes on for all platforms. It's annoying. Like I think what Prophecy was saying as well is just when one thing goes on with consoles, you got people saying, "Oh, PC master race," but you got to understand something. If something goes on PC, which a lot of AAA games are actually ported to the PC, they get the heaviest shitload of problems ever because they get the most screen tear, they get all the frame drops, they get all these issues. So I mean, that's why sometimes I sit and like listen to them, and I'm like, y'all sound like idiots. Y'all like second-class citizens. It's sad, but they're like second-class citizens when it comes down to video games, AAA titles to be exact, because they're not worked on PC first. There's no big AAA game made on PC first that goes on to PS4 and Xbox One. It's normally Xbox One or a PS4 game that's brought onto PC as a port. So that's why all these people saying PC master race, it doesn't make any sense. What's the master race about? Because at the end of the day, if the game isn't well optimized, your PC isn't going to get the best benefit of that game. You ain't going to get the best out of that game anyway. So I mean, people are just confusing. I mean, it doesn't make sense sometimes, but overall, it's just we've been getting shit games. If the game ain't gold, just expect the patch and expect the game to have bugs. That's it.
Man, I feel bad because when it's all said and done, we're gamers first, and you know we have our preferred systems that we play on or PCs that we play on. But I feel bad ultimately, you know, on one side that says it's fucked up because all my brodies that have been wanting to play Batman and have been waiting for Batman can't play the game that they've been wanting to play. Especially the ones that don't have consoles. So all they have to do is just sit there and you know wait till they decide to patch it. But on the other hand, I'm like, man, fuck them niggas, bro. I'm enjoying the hell out of this game right now. So I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel what Prof is saying too. It's just upsetting, like for this type of shit to just happen. Like it's just aside from all those idiots with choosing their race, I just hate when games. And plus, my preferred console is actually PS4. I play on PC because it saves me money on buying a game. I don't prefer PC. There's nothing that's being sponsored on PC that makes me want to play it other than the price of games. So that's really it.
Yeah. Ricky, I have a question for you. Where do you get this theory of games going gold, meaning the game's complete? Like if a game goes gold sooner rather than later? Like where do you get that theory?
Because I think I mentioned it on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. Destiny had went gold, and when I googled what does going gold mean, it means the game is finally completed. So there's no day one patch needed, or any other issues or any other thing is needed in the game installment day one, and that means they're ready to pack up the game and sell it in the stores. If a game has not been announced being gold, that means that there's something still going on, and we're gonna get a day one patch along with live patches, which is like what on Hardline. Battlefield 4 never went gold, as you guys can see. This shit was unplayable. Like, so if you look up what does going gold mean, it just means that the game is finally completed.
Yeah, I know what it means, but I'm just saying, like, because that doesn't hold true for every.
Well,
developer.
no, but look, if you Google all the games that have gone gold, the only issues those games have were people finding glitches to exploit something. It wasn't necessarily a game you wasn't able to play a game, or a game needed a patch in order to be playable. Every game that have launched, and there's rarely any games that launch being gold. The only ones that have launched being gold was actually indies. And if you played a game that has gone gold, you'll notice there was no need for a patch to help fix the optimization of a game or fix the game at all. The only patches that you were seeing here and there for games that went gold were people who were exploiting glitches or whatnot, and they had to patch that up. So that's really it. Because that's like what Nintendo does. Nintendo does not like putting out games unless they're completed. So almost every Nintendo game has gone gold.
No, but the thing is with going gold, I think you like misunderstanding. Like every game goes gold because that's what it is. Because you send it out to the printing press for it to be distributed. So every game goes gold. It just depends in what fashion it goes gold. Is it ahead of time,
right about that too.
Or is it late, or is it like, oh guys, we got to turn it in next week, but hopefully I get a C on this project. Like, you know
no,
what I
but
mean?
but what I'm saying is, if you looked up,
This has been going gold for years, bro. We still waiting for that motherfucker. The Division probably didn't want platinum by now.
Well, I think the bigger issue is really an issue of quality and QA. You know, that's something that's supposed to be a major factor at the end of any project development cycle, particularly with these software releases. And what we've seen in the past is Nintendo releases, while they historically take forever and a day plus one to come out, when their games come out, they are 99.9% flawless. And what the issue that we're experiencing on the PC side is that with this game being outsourced to a third party, there is no evidence of any type of quality analysis that was performed before this product was released. This was essentially a situation where Rocksteady and Warner Brothers got the assets up to a certain point, and then they sent it out for someone else to try to tie together all the pieces. And when you go out and you spend the type of money that it requires to play games on PC, that's an issue of it being unacceptable. And I think what happens is, on the PC side, the reason why people get into PC gaming is because they're at a point in their lives where they want to sit down and they want to appreciate things like textures, they want to appreciate sound design and lighting, all of the nuances that make games special. Like the first time I ever played Mass Effect 3 in full 1080p, I actually had a tear in my eye because I had no idea that the game...
Nah, dog, I know what he means.
I had no idea the game could actually look that good because I was coming from the Xbox 360, and there were a number of details that simply were not translated well in 720p. Now, for anyone that's on console, that's certainly not to say that you're playing an inferior version of the game or you're not going to get enjoyment out of that. I'm not saying that at all. But when you have the ability to have higher hardware that's capable of producing more, you want to receive the maximum value from that. And so that's what's happening this year, particularly with, you know, WB and some of these other AAA developers. We're not seeing the type of attention that should be devoted to games being released on PC, with the exception of Grand Theft Auto 5, which took an extra year and a half to basically come out. But when it came out, Rockstar made sure that it was damn ready for prime time. And that's what we require. I don't care if games come out 6 months later on PC. This entire notion of PC console parity is something that needs to stop, and it's something that is perpetuated because Microsoft and Sony have the ability to give companies money up front in order to buy exclusive content and get those games to come out on their platforms. And when you see developers, a lot of times they're blamed as being lazy, when in fact I think it's a case where they're simply devoting their time and resources to where that money has come from. And all the attention was paid to the PS4 version of this game, and that does not allot enough opportunity to devote the proper amount of resources to the PC version. And now anyone who's bought the game on PC is stuck with something that's not justifiable. And that's where I think the problem lies.
Wow, dog, I want him, like, yo, you don't even have to threaten a person's life. I just need you to say a couple of your amazing words, and you will kill somebody's soul.
Well, I mean, he just explained
why,
he
kept it real. He kept it real.
Why people. First of all, let me say this. Dudes was trying to get me on PC for years. I'm like, man, I ain't doing that bullshit. Like, man, anybody got time to that? I ain't got money for fuck all that. I just play on PS3, PS4, Xbox. I said, fuck it. But I finally did it, and when I did it, I said, okay, now I see what people was talking about. You will actually never know the PC experience unless you actually get one and play for yourself, straight up. But if you just go by what other people tell you, and on top of that, you can't even go by YouTube videos necessarily, because they'll do these PS4, Xbox, PC experiences. When you upload videos to YouTube, the quality is definitely, like, it has to be lowered, because YouTube can't afford to, that's why the videos process, because they need to do stuff with the video so that when we hit the play button, they play, and there's not an extremely long load time. So when you're watching these PC comparison videos, they might look a little bit better. And I'll be honest with you, when I didn't have a PC and I'm looking, I'm like, I don't really see. I mean, I see maybe a slight difference, but I didn't see anything enough for me to say, okay, I'm going out and get a PC. When I finally got the PC, the first day, it's funny, the first game I downloaded, it was Arkham Origins. I said, let me see what all this is about. Arkham Origins, put on Ultra, and I said, God damn. It was just like little stuff, like the paper. The first couple scenes of the game, there's paper flying around. You don't really get that on console. So that's that's one of the reasons to get it. But let me go ahead and say this, and I'll speak on behalf of like a lot of people that are aggravated by other people always hyping up their platform like there's never issues. So coming from the console, I got tired of hearing PCs this, PCs that all the goddamn time, and then you turn around and they don't tell you about the problems. So for example, just because I play on PC don't mean PC ain't about to take this L. So I found a survey. This was made 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And the survey says most PC gamers have weaker PCs than the PS4 and Xbox One. Now, you let people on the YouTube and on the internet tell you everybody's running around here with a PC strong enough to run games on ultra settings. But this article 2 years ago, I don't know if it's still the case now because more people are on PC, but we've been hearing about this shit for years. And a lot of people on PC that play games on PC don't have computers, PCs running. They're running weaker hardware than PS4, Xbox One. And I found that to be kind of funny.
I mean, the only reason why it is the way it is because of YouTube, really. Like, YouTube people in general, not everybody, but a lot of the reason that they get that flack from consoles is because they go on every video saying PC Master Race 24/7. Or they go to IGN and put on every forums and put PC Master Race. Aha, my PC can do this. Like, we never... I don't give a fuck about that, bro. I care about having fun and playing the game. That's all I've ever cared about. I don't care if I'm playing Nintendo 64. As long as I'm with my brodies and we getting it in, that's all that mattered to me. But I don't know. It just... I look at some of these people's YouTube videos that really just play PC and don't... I was telling Abel this. We had like a good-ass 2-hour conversation the other day. And it seems like when you look at people and they upload videos or they make videos of games that they're playing, the first thing they tend to do is put like the frames benchmarker in their video and then automatically just start showing frames. Like, that's not even... Who gives a fuck about that shit, bro? Like, you're supposed to be playing the game and enjoying the game, so you automatically ready to talk shit or brag about something from Jump Street.
Right.
Like, I don't get where that came from. Like, why is it that you... Like, I was telling Abel, I said, like, people that... Not us, obviously. I got to keep stressing that because some people might think I'm taking shots. But people that really have, like, really nice, expensive PCs, I feel like they only get it just to brag. It's like buying a car that you don't really want to drive. You just want to say, look, I got this car.
Yep.
Like, I love the UTX said that, and I do apologize for anyone who was going to jump in, but because after I got my PC, that's all I started thinking about were frame rates. Like, I literally, there's some times where I don't even play the game. There's some times where I literally just look at the frame rate counter, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's definitely a problem.
At least he called it.
I mean, like, the reason why, because even if you do it, it's my thing is, are you doing that and then in turn going on Twitter and saying, this game runs at 60 frames or 120 frames per second and then bragging about it? No, you're not. I guess when you have an expensive PC and you play these games at a certain resolution or certain frames, it's hard to adjust. Because I was in Wisconsin when I was on my trip. My mom had a channel that was standard TV, bro, and that shit burned my eyes. It gave me a headache. So I guess if you're always playing on, graphics that are a certain setting, and then you go play it on a terrible setting that's far beneath it, I can understand you not wanting to play it anymore. But I just don't want to be one of those PC dudes when I finally build mine that I'm just gonna buy every single game just to benchmark things and just to not even really fully enjoy the game anymore.
And
I
just want to say one thing, and to add to that, I mean, they can do what they want, but there are people that say, I'm not playing a game at 30 seconds. I'm not buying Batman. Like, I don't give a fuck.
That's
I
retarded.
mean, I really enjoy, like, because you can see, and everybody on YouTube knows this now, you can see, when you put a video on 60 frames, it looks different. It looks a lot smoother. So when you're playing and you see the frame rate higher, you can really see it. It does make the experience better. But like, dudes be like, if it's 30 frames a second, that's unacceptable. I'm not playing it. While it may be unacceptable, I'm not going to deny myself a great experience like fucking Batman because of a frame rate. That's just me, though. Yeah, I'll be aggravated or whatever, but the fun factor is above everything else.
Right.
Frame rate is below that, so that's what I'm going for. So I just wanted to add to that. Ricky, I know you want to say something.
Well, just a couple of things. I even want to go back to when Abel was, like, correcting me a bit. Now, from what he said about the gold thing, I just want to exit out the way. He was right, but also it takes part in what you said before, because if the game, like Batman, for example, Batman was developed solely for PlayStation. Like Batman WB is on PlayStation,
Right.
so that game went gold on PlayStation because that game was fully developed for PlayStation as well as actually Xbox. But it sucks that PC got their issues. Now, what Chase and UTX is saying is true, because I mean, when I first got my PC, I'm about to get this train work, but when I got my PC, like I was looking at frame counters too, and I was hyped. But I will say that I enjoy games more on 60 frame or better because it's just more fluid, it's more smooth for me personally. Like when I play H1 with Abel and the guys, I love playing at 60 frames. I feel like I have an advantage over those who play on 30. My reaction to go when I'm playing is more faster when I'm playing at a higher frame rate. The game is running more better for my experience at 60 or better. So I prefer shooters at 60. It doesn't mean I'm not going to play them if the game is running at only 30, but I just thought the fact of me playing PC gaming was I can adjust my own experience, and that's what I like about PC gaming. I mean, those who brag or whatever, I could probably ask the dude right now who does that shit, yo, what's the main character's name? He probably won't even know because he focuses more on the graphics and the frame rate. But I mean, me personally, I just love when the game looks amazing, and I love when the frame rate is high. It's just a smooth, fun experience. But if the game is 30 frames, that's not gonna decline my fun or take a toll on my experience. I'll still play it. So
some of my favorite games are on PC. Like, to be honest with you, most of these indie games that I play that I love came from PC, and obviously it was on PC. Like, there's no hate when it comes to PC. I just hate the people that
no, I know what you're saying.
Not necessarily represent it, but just they represent it in a bad way as opposed to the way it should be.
I definitely agree with that. Like the people that, like me, I like my computer's really expensive. Now since I got my computer, I will confess, just like Silver, just like Ricky, I don't know if Chase does it, but
Chase did it when he got his shit.
You do, like when I first had my PC, I wanted to see what the hype's about. I wanted to understand. So I had a frame rate counter and stuff like that, but that came through my video recorder that Chase put me onto, Action.
Yeah.
So I learned, all right, that's my frames there. Okay, cool. But it wasn't something that I was like getting erect over, like, oh, this is crazy. Like, that shit's corny to me. My thing is this, like, PC people that are primary gamers on YouTube, they really put a bad taste in my mouth because the priority of gaming isn't there anymore. Like, it's like, but that's not what PC should represent. Like, because it should be about gaming and it should be about fun. But majority of the time, you see people talking about how smooth it runs, how this looks, how that looks. But just like Ricky said, you ask them about the game in depth, it's like they can't tell you shit. It's like,
this man killed this
guy. The general shit. Like, they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, that character's there. But it's like, it's just shitty. It's like, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, PC gamers should just be universal and just have a better love for the game itself, other than their hardware.
No, I agree.
I see where Angel is coming from, though. I definitely, have fallen off the deep end. Where when I when you can find me talking, a gang of junk in anyone's comments related to PC. That's what I do in my spare time. And the thing about it is, I'm kind of at the point where graphical fidelity to me is extremely important. In terms of being able to play games, I still enjoy games to a certain level, but it's very hard for me to kind of get past, not being able to make the maximum use of my hardware. And, I'm going to give a shout out to Terry real quick, because I know when that PC gaming show was going on during E3, I know me and him were going on back and forth on Twitter because I know he was watching it with me. And, I think kind of sitting through that and listening to some of those announcements, and even though it was not a true PC gaming show, it was more or less an advertisement for AMD, that was exciting to me because it really just gave me a chance to see what's going to be happening in terms of technology and what I can really look forward to. But, I'll be honest, at the end of the day, when I say there's a certain point that you get to when you are a PC gamer where it can become very easy to become obsessed with trying to get the latest and greatest. And you may find yourself playing a few games cheaply but then you find yourself, beginning to want to understand more about DirectX 12 and wanting to understand more about the latest graphic cards. Then you start to get into water cooling and mineral cooling, and
Right.
before you know it, you're buying a fish tank from Walmart, and you're gonna put your entire PC in it, so you think you can maintain all your parts at the optimum temperature. And that's a point where you kind of get away from what gaming is, and it becomes more about obsessions with technology. And so I think that's where I am right now. I'm kind of lost in that space. I hope that one day I can kind of pull myself out of it. But it's a very interesting hobby, and I think to the article that Chase mentioned before, which we had mentioned about the PlayStation 4 being more powerful than PC, is actually very interesting because a lot of people speculated because the PS4 has 8 gigabytes of that DDR5 memory, which is supposed to be some of the fastest available, faster than the 4 gigabytes that I have on my card now. And so when I hear a developer like Naughty Dog come out and say they're having issues making Uncharted 4 run at 1080p, with that system configuration, it makes me wonder, are there other bottlenecks that are impacting the PlayStation 4's performance? Because on paper, that should be more powerful than what I have, but half of YouTube thinks that consoles are inferior. And so I think that there is a little bit of investigation that needs to be done there. Certainly if someone knows more information than I have, please hit me up because that's something that I'm wondering about as well.
Check that article, Terry. Shout out to Terry. He just tweeted us. Every year, Steam has every month apparently they have surveys to check people's hardware. And just looking at this, most people don't have a PC stronger than PS4. That's what the article. Plus, we can actually see the numbers on here. It has the percentages of like how many people have Windows 7, 46%. But when we talk about RAM, 30% of PC users have 8 gigs, but 22% have 4 gigs. 12% have 3. 9% have 2. So like people always try to make it like everybody's just out here with these beast computers.
I think we like the only ones that went overboard. But then again, we did it for our reasons of rendering, multitasking.
Yeah, I needed to be able to render videos faster and all that. Plus, it was an investment if I want to upgrade it. And that's the other thing is a lot of PC people. Every time a new car comes out, they update. I didn't want to get caught.
I want to,
with
man.
That. And I was thinking about getting a new car and all that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that. I don't need it right now.
I don't.
Maybe next year if I get another PC and it's because I want to get one for my girl. I'll let her have this one. But like, I don't want to get caught up where I'm always upgrading stuff. I haven't upgraded my PC at all. I bought my PC last September. So I'll be coming up on a year in a few months. And I haven't felt like I needed to upgrade. I mean, sometimes it's like I want to, but like I don't really need to. But just looking at this goes in. Like console people need to show this to a lot of those PC dudes running around screaming PC master race all the time. And the one thing about PC that I do not like is like the PC people won't tell you that sometimes you have to fix your own fucking game. You on console, you just wait. Patch comes. It could be like Battlefield and take months to work. Battlefield 4. But with the PC, there's been games that I bought, and I said this before, it's been specifically older games, maybe from 2007, 2008, and I go buy it, and I have to patch it myself. I have to go on the Steam forums and read how other people fix their game. And I have to go in, change stuff, and blah, 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 and eventually I'll get it to work, but sometimes that's the type of stuff you have to run into on PC is literally fixing your own games or having workarounds. Batman Arkham Knight has workarounds. You gotta turn off motion blur. You gotta turn off. You gotta put it on windowed mode for better performance. You gotta turn off the frame cap if you want to raise it.
And VideoWorks is fucked on that. For some reason, that's the support, and it doesn't even support it properly. So that's sad.
It's more so. It's not even fixing. It's like, yo, I gotta put this workaround on here. You know what I mean? And you'll run into that, not all the time, but this is the second time for me this year, and they've both been AAA titles. And I've had it happen with like Prototype 2. I bought Toy Story 3 for my nephew. The game doesn't work. We bought Call of Duty 4. The game didn't work. And stuff like that. It's just like, it's stuff like that. Like, don't nobody want to have to deal with that. And if you want to pitch something to somebody like, yo, you need to get this, you need to tell them the good stuff, but you need to also tell them the shit that they're going to run into. It's not that hard. Like, people don't know how to be objective. They always out here spewing the bullshit, trying to get people to make them feel like they're beneath them. You know what I mean? By delivering like all this bullshit, these perks and bells and whistles about stuff, but not giving the full description of whatever it is. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I really love PC. I would never go back to being primarily on console, but like there is some stuff about each platform that just aggravate the hell out of me. And PC, that's it for me. It's just aggravating dealing with some of that stuff. So
that's why I think it's worse that there's more companies that want to make that are making platforms or consoles, however you should say, because look at the amount of time that it's taking these guys to at least make a game that works properly for these consoles and PC. Imagine if like they were to make games to work on these new consoles that are coming out now. Nintendo supposedly is rumored that they're making their console that now third parties could jump on it, and we're already fucked as is. So imagine that. And with Nintendo, the reason why I don't believe it's gonna go right with Nintendo because they don't allow games that are fucked up to come on their console. You get what I'm saying? Like even when they had like Black Ops Declassified, for example, they didn't allow that game to be on the Wii U if it was fucked up. So imagine all these games that need all these day one patches. It probably won't hit Wii U until months after, because didn't that happen to like Watch Dogs or something, or Batman Origins or something like that?
Yep.
So I mean that's the only benefit. I mean I wish these companies put more on these devs or publishers, like, yo, your game ain't gonna touch our console until this shit is fully completed. But at the same time, it's like a 360 of money. Like they each wants money, so they're just gonna push the shit out. It's annoying, but I mean honestly, like I said, at the end of the day, we're not like that. I got my PC because of rendering and basically because I could save money on games. But at all that hype and doing all this extra crazy stuff that people are saying about the benefit of PC, I just saw the benefit as being like I get to multitask. So that's really about it. Nothing crazy.
What is everybody's opinion? I know we talked about this last week, but just to get over to some console stuff, what is everybody's opinion on Sony not? They're absolutely not doing backwards compatibility.
They're stupid.
I will say that like when Xbox is losing, they will do everything they can to try to get back on par or in the race with the competition. If they got to do price drops, they'll do it. If they got to buy certain exclusives or time exclusives, they'll do it. If they got to do discounts and all types of trade-ins for old Xbox consoles, 150, they'll do all that. If they need to do backwards compatibility, they'll do it.
Who left from Xbox? Who was the first one before Phil Spencer came on board? Who was
Don Matrix.
Well, he took a fat ass L after this whole thing. He left, and Phil Spencer came in.
Right, and did all the stuff we wanted. But my point is, Sony, when they in the lead or when they losing, they don't really know how to like to do what's best for the consumers. But like, why they're still doing PS Now? Like, who takes PS Now serious?
But
I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna come in on here because I don't play PS Now, but I have it, I guess. But we're looking at it from a consumer basis. Sony spent how much money to acquire this cloud service? They're not going to just drop it when they're already in financial problems as it is now. So them not dropping, that's never going to happen. They're going to try to. What they need to do is, and again, me and Abel spoke of this too. They need to combine it with PlayStation Plus. They need to find a way to combine PS Now with PS Plus in order to try to turn a profit, because if they're not going to stop it. Like, it's going to be here. And from the things that I've read about it, it seems like they're going more towards like a yearly subscription type thing. Hopefully it'll be maybe like a $30 subscription thing like EA Access has it, because if it does do something like that, then it'll be just as good, because it already has really good games on there. It's just I'm not paying $44 for 3 months. I mean, if they turned around and made that $30 for a year, then I might fuck around and do that.
I think the services it got shitted on. That's like saying, yo, I spent all this money on Kwame Brown, I can't just release him. You know what I'm saying? I've already invested X amount of dollars. It's like, no, he's not doing what he's supposed to do, and he's getting shitted on. He's not keeping up with the competition. Get his ass out. Ship it. Y'all remember when Kobe said, no, he's talking about Andrew Bynum. He said, ship his ass out. I mean, the service is a joke at this point, considering, like, I don't know who used it anyway, but like
the trial. You gotta
I don't know. I just feel like you gotta try to keep up with the
You
competition.
need beast ass internet in order to run that shit at well, for me, I was able to, the game was looking pretty right, but if you have like a semi okay internet, the game is gonna look pretty crappy. Honestly, for it to just run and stream online, that is horrible. I mean, they should have just made it to where you download the game fully and it ends up on your hard drive. Now, if you cancel out the subscription, the game is not available to you. I don't understand why they made it to where you have to stream it. All this streaming shit sucks. What were you saying?
I would actually hate that.
Why?
I would hate if they switched it to that, because these games are still going to be like 20, 30 gigabytes. And I ain't got no memory on my goddamn system anyway.
Nah, not a lot of them.
Why wouldn't they be? Why would they? The main ones that you're going to play, the God of Wars, the Uncharted, the main games that are on there, the Last of Us.
Some of them, like, they definitely 20, 30.
Be the same. Exactly. So I'm not talking about the games like, I'm looking at it right now. Whatever the fuck Fat Princess is. I don't know what the hell this game is. That's not going to be no gigabyte. But the main games that people that left Xbox 360 to come to PS3 that people didn't get to play are going to want to play are going to be the Uncharted, are going to be the Last of Us, and or like you play the BioShocks and all these other things. So those are still going to be the same amount of gigabytes as it is now. And I'm broke. I'm broke on the PlayStation gigabyte section, bro.
Nah, I feel you, dog.
I'm fiending out here. I gotta delete games every time I want to download a new game because I got no memory.
Yep.
58 gig games.
This is a joke, but I just wanted to point this out because I'm looking at the store. Drive Club is finally out for free.
Shit! Yeah, it's a joke.
After so many years that nobody gives a fuck, but
that shit's already
free
done.
now. I thought that was funny.
It's funny and I'm pissed at the same time. Well, not me. I know people are pissed now because they purchased that shit, sent it back, and sold that shit.
I wanted it. If I wanted it, I'd have bought it a long time ago. Like,
whoa. No, I think UTX had a girl.
Had a girl? What are you saying? You kind of cut off.
Are we still there?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, no. Now. I think what I would really actually like to see Sony do is, because Microsoft kind of caught them with their pants down. The one thing Sony can actually do is kind of look at a universal pricing structure where they can incorporate what they're trying to accomplish from PlayStation Now, PlayStation View, as well as PlayStation Plus, because right now they have 3 different products out there. The pricing is kind of all over the place, but they can actually make up in that perceived value by really offering consumers some options to get at all 3 services. And I think by kind of selling that tandem of cable television as well as local channels along with games, I think they could actually keep themselves in the running, because I think a year from now, once Microsoft has a handle on backwards compatibility, once they've gotten those consumers from Xbox 360 to move over to the Xbox One, their user base is obviously going to grow tremendously. But I think Sony won't be as out of the water if they price their products competitively. But if they continue to treat the market like they've been treating it, they're going to see some real losses next year.
I can definitely agree with you on that. What are you saying, Prof? No, go ahead, Prof.
I was about to say the fact that Sony, when they came into this, when they made the PS4, they had no intentions of backwards compatibility. It's not in their system's DNA, if you will, to be able to just, here's an update and there it is. Microsoft obviously had that in their mind. That's the reason why it's just a simple update and it works, because it's already designed in the system. So they're not going to go back. The only thing Sony would do, if they were to do, which they would lose tons of money, is if they were to come out with a new PS4 and say, oh, this PS4 is backwards compatible. They're not going to do that shit, fam. They're going to try to get this. They're going to try to sell this PlayStation Now, fam. And like he said, like Silver said, they just need to combine it with the other things that they already have going on right now. Otherwise,
they're losing money in all angles.
Right, because they're 1 month for $20, bro. That's fucking ridiculous, bro.
Nah,
that
$20 a month for PlayStation Now. The
$20 a month for PlayStation Now is ridiculous.
And when the internet when it goes on the server maintenance, you're not even able to touch any of those games. So I mean, you're fucked regardless. Now, my thing is also, it was told that the top toll or poll, however you call it, that for a vote for Xbox for a game to be brought onto Xbox One, not a remaster, but a backwards compatibility, was Red Dead. So I think this can also be a way for the developers to save money and save time. Instead of doing a remaster, Now, for them to approve this game to be brought on as like Xbox One backwards compatibility on their list, because remember what Phil Spencer said was it also has to just be approved, yes or no. If they get the yes, all the engineer has to do is just add the game into the database. If you already had the game digitally downloaded, you'll see it on your library on your Xbox One. If you have the disc, you pop it in and install it. I think if they do that on Xbox side, if Sony was to also do it, I think it'll be an increase